United Capital Trustees is revolutionizing the landscape of trusteeship in Nigeria by delivering innovative solutions and trusted fiduciary services. Now, as a key player in the financial services sector, the firm is setting new standards in corporate governance, asset protection, and wealth management. So they're going to tell you exactly how to secure your wealth for the future. We're happy to have Michael Abiodun Thomas, new MD, CEO of United Capital Trustees. Good morning to you, sir. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. And
thank you so much, Reuters.
Congratulations on the appointment as well. I mean, you've been in the game. Can you talk to us about the journey, trusteeship and you getting here?
Thank you so much, Reuters. I think once again, thank you, and it's been a great pleasure to have had this privilege of experience. I started my career in legal practice. And then it went through the whole entire sectors of FMCG, energy, telecoms, and of course the capital market. I think one very particular thing that stood out was the capital market for me. Yeah. And so when the opportunity to work in the trust industry came forth, it was something I embraced with open arms. It's been a beautiful journey so far. I've had the privilege of working in different positions in all the services that trustees provide. And rose through the rank till an executive director, until my appointment at United Capital Trustees as MD and CEO. It's been a great journey, and here we are right now. Fantastic. To set the tune. And
we're glad congrats again, glad to have you. So you mentioned it, you've worked in different capacities, delivering trustee services to Nigerians. So for those who are wondering, what are they? What are trustee services?
All right, so generally trustee service is a third, neutral, independent, unbiased service that gives comfort. And oftentimes we tell people that there is something for everyone. Whether you're an individual, you're a corporate, whether it's large corporate, medium, or a small business, or even fintech, or the public sector, which is state government and a few other things also, a trusted service is relevant for you. Because the moment you have a body of professional experts who can manage your assets on your behalf in a very professional manner, who have a fiducial relationship to you, it becomes easier. It makes your life easier. So we tell people from cradle to grave and even legacies, you should have a trustees. Do you need something for your children's education trust? Absolutely, trustees can get you in place. Are you looking at something that has to do with the startup of your business? You're trying to drive how your business should scale from one level to another one. You're taking facilities from the bank. You want to issue debt instruments. Then a trust service becomes very imperative for you. For state government who are assessing funds from the debt instrument from the capital market, the law requires that you should have a third party, which is a corporate trustees, to hold on to the sinking fund and boost the confidence of investors in your product, in your service, or whatever offering you're doing. So trustee service cut across for everyone. Individuals, high net worth, mass affluent, small, large scale, state government, and all that. And this is part of the reason why we feel in a very privileged position to redefine this, to provide enlightenment, to bring literacy to everyone and say, look, your life and your affairs and your asset can be made a whole lot easier if you allow it to be managed by professionals.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for the breakdown. That really explains everything. So it's management of assets and giving people peace of mind.
Absolutely.
Either individuals or businesses for the future. So what makes you folks at United Capital Trustees stand out from other folks who provide trustee services?
Thank you. So one of the things we do is that typically we run our trust services based on data-driven facts and figures. And what does it mean? It means that understanding your client, understanding the environment, the changing world. So we use a customer-first basis. Like when I look at the circumstances, what will this person need? If it's a small business, what are their needs? How can I bring solution to them? What will be problems solved that will be considered for them? Those are very important things which we do. Number two is also that we bring in innovation. Innovation means that the world is changing at a very rapid pace. Individual needs are crystallizing. In the next 10 to 20 years, transgenerational wealth is deemed to be in trillions of US dollars across the globe. Are we positioned as a country? Are we positioned as a people to get this ready? So we look at this innovation. More than half of the income we make globally today were from businesses that did not exist 15 years ago. So it means that businesses are changing, things are evolving. And so we pride ourselves in the fact that we bring in innovative solutions to be able to change with our customers as their need evolves without losing our core value. Number three is also that we bring competency and expertism to it. We've done this for 60 years now. We're 60 in June. And again, one of the things we've done is that we have a pedigree right across all of this entire sort of services that positions us in a place to say, look, we can give you the services. We have all the hands you need, a retinue of accountants, lawyers, researchers, financial advisors, all in one place to help make your assets worth the while. And finally, we also say that we bring a huge brand equity. The whole entire United Capital Structures, with its sister company and all the rest, means that we are a one-stop shop for all of your financial need, personal need, and needs that also goes towards your transgenerationals for your dependents and beneficiaries. Those are some of our unique selling points.
Hey, it sounds very robust. Every time we have United Capital on the show, we always tend to talk about technology. I know you mentioned data earlier, but can you speak to how, because that's my favorite. This show is called the Global Business Report, but I might change it to the Global Technology Report Absolutely. One day if management allows. But can you speak to tech and how it aids the services that you're providing?
All right, thank you. So generally, technology, and again, whether it's Internet of Things, whether it's big data, whether it's AI, is fast permeating every single sector. And so we take advantage of this to make business easier. Yeah. We speak earlier about the mass affluence, the retail products which we're running. All of these are driven on the back of technology. And our digital transformation concept simply means that, number one, we're using data to begin to identify the segment market, the target market, the addressable market. Who are we bringing this onto? Number two is also to find an easy to use. With the influx of mobile phones and now AIs, the new phones now have AI's features into them also. It makes business easier. It makes services right at the thumbprint of our customers and use. And so our digital transformation concept is beginning to run for several months, and we start seeing that rolling out. It means that everyone will be able to address the services right on point, will be able to assess the services for both their beneficiary, whether they are minors, whether you're leaving a legacy, whether it's an endowment or some foundations which you're setting up for individuals. Everyone will be able to create this. What does this do for us? Number one, it creates room for transparency, both for yourself, your parties, your stakeholders. Number two, it also brings accountability. Then that means that there is a system where anyone can make a check and say, look, this is a credible investment. This is a credible endowment. This is a credible product and service that we can always check up. And number three, it also creates comfort. Comfort means that when you're sure that everything which you're doing can be verified on technology as it is in person, with a business that has its credibility and competency, it brings a lot of comfort. And this is what we sell as a business through technology. Hey,
tech is, it is the future. And good to see you embracing it as part of your operations. So we had some recent regulation from the Central Bank of Nigeria on how it's going to manage dormant accounts. How are you, assuring your clients that, okay, look, if you're impacted or anything, we're going to manage the process for you, for your beneficiaries and so on? Yeah,
thank you again, Rotos. Very interesting question. And I think recently the CBN, again, in a bit to very commendable step, there are a lot of issues around unclaimed assets, whether they are equities or money in dorm accounts that have not been touched over the years. What we see out of this is to, again, tell people, have a form of estate plan. You don't want to leave anything to chance. Be intentional. You have worked this hard, you have grown your asset. Be intentional about where your asset goes to, whether you're alive or anything happens. Be intentional about your beneficiary. You've loved them enough, you work for them. Be intentional about your legacy, the name you leave behind. Because if anyone passes on or some sort of happen, which happens in life anyway, you begin to get to a point where you leave things to chance. And so what it means is that this is more than ever before with a CBN guideline like this that states that your next of kin can now access your domiciliary account. We want to make this very clear again, that your next of kin is not your beneficiary. Your beneficiary under the Estate Administration Act of Lagos State and other states in Nigeria simply state that only beneficiaries that are named in your estate plan can take benefit from your assets. But now a next of kin can just be anyone that can be contacted. It could be a friend, an acquaintance, a neighbor, a family member or so, but that's not necessarily who you want your asset to go to. So how do you safeguard towards this? Have an estate plan. so that you're not caught up by guidelines like this. The CBN has to do what it has to do to clean its books, to make a redundant fund a bit more active again, to do a bit more about that. But if you take account for your life, your asset, and all the rest, you'll be the better for it. So the guideline helps a whole lot in terms of our services.
Fantastic. Speaking of your services, if folks want to contact you, how do they reach out? I guess what?
Oh, okay,
Social
great.
media, numbers, websites?
Absolutely. United Capital PLC. You can find us on any of the social media platforms. You can leave a message. You can also send us a message on United Capital Trustees. You just Google that, you'll find those messages there. You can find a customer service and a link you can click on. Someone will respond to you. Our office is at 97/105 Broad Street, 3rd, 4th, and 5th floor, United Capital Trustees and United Capital Group. You can find us there. You can do a walk-in. You can send us an email, and you can find our numbers.
Fantastic. So what do we look forward to in the future under your leadership for the Trustees division?
I think generally within the trust industry and indeed the capital market, the time to create a lot of enlightenment, to create literacy across group in terms of the benefits of having the trustees look into your assets and your affair is now more than ever before. We want to be able to drive enough information across different specters to provide services to show what technology and innovation can do. A lot is changing, and if you plan ahead of time, you'll be able to give people ready solution. The whole goal for us is that you can come to us and walk away knowing that whatever issue you had or on clarity you have has been resolved. We look forward to an industry that we not only foremost, but we can provide leadership and provide guidance and say, look, this is the way to do this, and you can do this better, and for everyone to learn, and the country is a whole lot better for it.
In your everyday conversations, are enough people talking about estate planning? I know, since people know what you do, friends and family, they'll probably throw those questions at you. But generally, I mean, I know what you're, of course, raising awareness. Should the government be telling people more about this? Should there be more conversations, curriculums in school around these things in finance classes? How do you see the conversation around trusteeship in Nigeria currently?
Yeah, so trusteeship in Nigeria is still is a reflection of our financial literacy generally. Trusteeship date back to thousands of years, from the Old English era, where a knight is going on a crusade and looks for a trusted person and say, look, hold this asset for me. If I make it back from my crusade, hand it back to me. If I don't, keep it in trust for my children and my son who are very young. And since that time, the concept of trust has evolved again and again. So in the Western jurisdictions, in the UK and the US, it's been on for hundreds of years. In Nigeria, it's a reflection of our financial literacy, which means that people can only grow in knowledge to the extent of their financial literacy, which is a percentage generally. So we don't get enough information around this. And trust me, if we do this every day, it's still not enough. You'll be surprised at the amount of incidents and cases and reports and emails we get every day, and someone is saying, oh, we lost someone who died interstate. We don't know how to go about the probate process. Oh, I have a trust. I don't know what to do. My family, my wife and I want to set up something. We want to set up something for our children's education. So the knowledge which we're doing, right, again, is not enough. Right? I don't know that the government can do so much. Again, it will be a good thing to collaborate with them. But I think the onus is really on the private sector, and we've taken our responsibility on ourselves to push for this knowledge, to create awareness, to put out literacy out there, to create a forum where people can reach out, ask questions, and get really clear, simple guide on what next to do about their situation.
It is an incredibly vital topic for anybody who wants to leave legacy, and we're glad that you professionals at United Capital Trustees are leading the way in that front. Mr. Michael Abiodun Thomas, MD CEO, United Capital Trustees, thank you for a very informative conversation around this venture, and congratulations again on your
Thank you, Ritus. Thank you.